Guinea-Bissau's new interim military leader is vowing a crackdown on drug trafficking and corruption after taking power. General Horta N'Tam was sworn in a day after soldiers arrested the president and ordered last weekend's election results to be suspended. For more, let's bring in Bloomberg's Ondiro Oganga, who joins us now with the latest. Ondiro, what more do we know?
Good morning, Tom. A lot has escalated in Guinea-Bissau in the last 48 hours. First, it started with gunfire. The presidential palace was seized. The president, Sissoco Embaló, was taken into custody. And quickly, we saw this military general, Horta N'Tam, being sworn into power. And if you look at that swearing ceremony, he was flanked by high-ranking military officials, almost as if it's a stamp on approval on this coup that has currently happened in Guinea-Bissau. During his swearing-in speech, he made a couple of declarations. One, he said there was enough evidence to justify this coup that they carried out. And he said, like you mentioned, he will fight drug trafficking. He's going to tackle corruption. But most importantly, he asked for the support and cooperation from the people of Guinea. In the last couple of hours, there have been new developments. We have confirmed that the deposed president has now safely landed in Senegal. They've also closed the borders of the country, and they've imposed an overnight curfew. And unlike previous coups that we've seen in different countries in the Western Sahel, this one was very quiet. There's a lot of confusion. We haven't seen the usual celebration, and it's for a couple of reasons. Outside of the political instability is the drug trafficking that is a pain point, not only for the government, but also for the people. This is a country that sits right between Latin America, the drug trafficking gangs, and also drug users in Europe. It's such a notorious route that it has been labeled a narco state. And yet again, the people of Guinea-Bissau, who depend on selling cashew nut and fishing, are seeing power exchanging hands without the decision that they made in the ballot being taken into account.
Well, on that point then, Ondiro, how is this coup playing out in the region, particularly amid concerns about backsteps when it comes to democracy?
Guinea-Bissau is a very interesting country. It's small, 2.5 million people, 2.5 billion economy, but big problems. And if we talk about coups, they have experienced some of the most coups in the region, close to 17 coups. They've experienced a civil war. Actually, only one elected president has completed their term. Last year, in October of 2024, there was an attempted coup. In February of 2025, there was an attempted coup. And now with this successful coup, it makes it 5 successfully completed coups in Guinea-Bissau. And it's not just that country. It's across the Western Sahel. And, you know, the interim military government says they'll only be in office for a year. But that's not the truth. If you look at what has happened in the region, you look at Guinea, you look at Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, that's not what has happened. In Guinea, when Doumbouya came into power, he swore that he's only a transitional leader. They'll transition back to a civilian government. 4 years later, he's still in power. He tweaked the constitution. And now he could be in power for the next 14 years. The same thing has happened in Chad. And then come regional bodies like ECOWAS, who have very little say in this, because when they threatened to invade Niger after a military coup, we saw these countries break away, form alliance of the Sahel. There are also problems if you look at democracy. Ivory Coast has a 4th-term president. Cameroon is now staring at a lifetime president who might likely die in power. And so these military leaders are emboldened by the fact that there's no pushback and there's no repercussion.